What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the remarkable life of Prince Philip, the longest serving royal consort in British history. Lindsay actually just surprised me a little bit by asking, who is Prince Philip? And I know she's going to know who he is once she actually knows, well, who he was married to. But basically, Prince Philip was Queen Elizabeth's husband. And I know the reason you're confused on that is because you thought he would be called the king.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that is a question that I actually have that I don't understand, because basically the consort is married to the queen, or in the case, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know the exact definition of a consort.
Means spouse of?
I don't know exact definition of it. What I'm saying is that obviously that's what he was. He was the consort, the royal consort of Queen Elizabeth, I'm guessing, because he was her husband. And they were married for a very, very long time.
His name was Prince Philip.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
But that is a question that I have as well, guys, because what I understand is King Charles's wife is
Camilla.
Yeah,
right?
As much as I know, she's known as the queen, the current queen, Queen Consort, I believe. So
wouldn't he be considered king consort?
Right. And so if anyone could answer that in the comments, we'd be very appreciative of that. But, I thought it'd be interesting to look at Prince Philip because I don't really know anything about him. I've never looked into him before.
I can picture him in my mind.
Right.
At least his older self.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know his name.
I believe it was 99 when he passed away. And I think it was I think it was 2 or 3 years before Queen Elizabeth, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they passed away fairly close together, didn't they?
Yeah, but I mean, they had literally been married like forever.
Wow.
But guys, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and dive in here and check out the remarkable life of Prince Philip.
He was born Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark in 1921
Greece and Denmark.
on the Greek island of Corfu. His mother was Princess Alice of Battenberg, which made Philip a great-great-grandchild of Queen Victoria, just like his future wife.
Hold up.
I already have questions.
Wait, they were both grandchildren of the same queen?
How does that work? Wouldn't they be related then?
I wonder, you obviously, if you're, wouldn't that be like cousins?
If you share a grandparent, then yeah, you would be cousins, but I guess it just depends on what number cousin.
Yeah.
How close.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because that could be, couldn't that be third, fourth, fifth?
Anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But what's really surprising to me there, more than they were related to the same grandparent, is the fact that his family wasn't already British, it sounds like. I just assumed he was British. Greek and Denmark, yeah.
Would that be Danish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. I think when it comes to royal families, a lot of times they probably do marry
royalty from other places.
From other places and stuff. Yeah. I'm not really sure.
But Philip and his family were forced to flee Greece after a coup, and they ended up at Gordonston School in Scotland, where the disciplines of sport and achievement were to shape his future. Because from Gordonston, he went to the Royal Navy in 1939 as a cadet.
His Majesty walking down the ranks of the cadets.
He was at Britannia Royal Naval College in Dartmouth before the war. At the back here, in the centre of the screen, is the 18-year-old Philip.
Wow.
He'd been asked to entertain the King's daughters during a royal visit. The eldest daughter, Elizabeth, is sitting along from her parents, just 13 at the time.
Oh, wow. What was their age
Afterwards,
difference?
they played
5
croquet
years then?
in the gardens outside.
Think so.
It was clear Elizabeth had taken a shine to Philip in Dartmouth.
Wow.
That's crazy they have the
Whatever might have
pictures and
started
stuff.
then would have to wait. World War II was about to take Philip far away. With the Navy, he fought the Italians and then the Japanese.
Wow.
The young princess exchanged letters with Philip throughout the war years, which allowed them, when peace finally came, to pick up their romance.
It's easy to see the radiant happiness of the princess.
And in 1947...
This is interesting. I know back in those days it wasn't as... it wasn't a big
the age difference?
deal. Yeah. 13 and 18.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they were just like courting and talking and stuff,
Yeah.
but still, like nowadays, like, could you imagine if your 13-year-old daughter came to you and said, "Oh, Dad, I want to date this 18-year-old boy"? Like,
Yeah, I know that is interesting. But you know that makes this even more interesting to me as well, because like I don't know how old she was when they married, but obviously their relationship started when she was 13.
Yeah, literally.
Which is incredible. And so her entire life.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So I can imagine when he passed away, it would have been just such a void out of her life.
Part of her.
Yeah, it had to be. I mean, she was 90 something years old. He was, I believe, 99 at the time. She was probably like 93 then. And so like you can imagine, that's like 80 years of the same person, you know, for the most part.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, it is. That's something very few people ever experience, that long of a marriage or a relationship.
Meet the person you're going to marry when you're 13 years old.
Yeah, it happens. But also, even if you do, how many people live to be, both of you to be that old? To reach like 70, 80 years of having a relationship with someone is very, very rare.
They got engaged.
As she and her very good-looking husband-to-be posed for the cameras in the palace.
Wow.
And the wedding, when it came later that year, was to light up a post-war Britain still mired in bomb damage and rations. He had renounced his Greek title, and the king made him the Duke of Edinburgh.
Now the Duke of Edinburgh takes a fatherly hand, his technique being no better and no worse than most fathers.
Prince Charles was the first of the couple's 4 children, a future king. And the Duke of Edinburgh was promoted to commander. He took charge of his own ship, HMS Magpie.
Wow, he still was serving.
So at the beginning of the 1950s, the young couple would lead a life about as close to normal as it ever got.
That's incredible to me. Usually, like, you wouldn't expect them to continue their service for after an initial, like, I think maybe a lot of times the royal family members are like they're supposed to go and serve for a short period of time, because Harry did it. I believe William did it. So I don't know if Charles did it. I'm guessing I think he did. Yeah. I think I did hear that.
Wasn't the Air Force?
Yeah, I believe you're right. I believe, and I know Elizabeth did. But you know, to go after and still serve after that initial time.
Once they're married and have kids, like you would think,
Yeah.
Here, the royal pair look out over the harbour and points of interest in Valletta.
But as the Duke recalled in later years, he had to abandon the career he loved so much with the sudden death of his father-in-law. His wife had become queen.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He wasn't yet.
An event he insisted should be televised for the world to see. The Duke took an oath to serve his wife, the Queen, for the rest of his life.
Wow.
He knelt before her and swore to be her loyal follower.
I, Philip, will become your liege man of life and limb, and of earthly worship. In faith and truth I will bear unto you, to live and die, against all manner of folk, so help me God.
Wow.
Rising, he kisses the Queen's cheek and touches the Queen's crown, in token of his readiness to help her bear its burden.
His wife was head of state, but what would this young man, the Queen's consort, do now?
Yeah, the Queen's Consort.
Here's Dr. Kurt Hahn, lately headmaster of Gordonston School, where the Duke was once a pupil.
The answer came, in part, from the Duke's former headmaster, Dr. Kurt Hahn. In 1956, they channeled their shared interest in sport and voluntary service to launch the Duke of Edinburgh Award Scheme.
These are the boys of Dunstable Grammar School out on fire practice, ably assisted by the local fire brigade.
That's so cool.
Scheme is to help boys to find activities which will give them pleasure and satisfaction, perhaps for the rest of their lives.
1,000 completed the award in its first year. More than 3 million 14 to 24-year-olds have achieved their D of E since then.
Wow.
The Duke plays at back. He's easy to recognise in the match with number 4 on the back of his shirt and wearing a black cap.
And he channeled that passion for sport into his own life. An accomplished polo player, only retiring reluctantly in 1971. And at the age of 50, he turned his attention to carriage driving, which he kept at even when the sport became sometimes...
I didn't know it was a sport.
Look at that, though.
and at others.
Looks kind of dangerous.
It kind of reminds me, it's not this, but it kind of reminds me of bobsledding, where you have everybody there and they're probably all like, you have
like balancing out different sections of
that's why they were there. You had the guy on the back, or the woman on the back, it looked like.
Yeah, I don't think you could do it with just one person.
Yeah.
A little dangerous.
Oh!
But even when he had been thrown to the ground, he was straight back in the carriage, his desire to win overcoming everything else. But there was also a passion for conservation. He was president of the Worldwide Fund for Nature from 1961, years before the world's attention turned to the environment.
And they've got nostrils on the end there, isn't it?
Prince Philip and his eldest son did share a passion for the outdoors, but often they had a different outlook on life. One a pragmatist, the other a thinker. A difference best articulated by Philip loving everything about Gordonston School, but Charles never quite fitting in there. At the time of the wedding and latterly the breakup of Charles and Diana's marriage, the Duke was enormously supportive of Diana. He was once, like her, the royal outsider.
Wow, that's interesting.
His focus turned to his grandsons William and Harry when Diana's life was cut short by that car crash in Paris. This was a moment when the Duke of Edinburgh had to support his wife at what became a very dangerous time for the monarchy. But later that year, when the Queen and Duke celebrated their golden wedding anniversary, she paid him a personal and rare public tribute.
All too often, I fear Prince Philip has had to listen to me speaking. He is someone who doesn't take easily to compliments, but he has quite simply been my strength and stay all these years.
And it was also an anniversary for reflecting on how their long and successful partnership had endured.
I think that the main lesson that we've learned is that tolerance is the one essential ingredient of any happy marriage. And you can take it from me that the Queen has the quality of tolerance and abundance.
Tolerance the Queen did sometimes need to cope with her husband's sense of humour.
Can you get Radio 3 on it?
But Prince Philip's wit and sharp tongue sometimes created headlines which the palace could have done without. At age 90 here, he looked not to have a care in the world.
Dude's 90 there. Man.
But the hours spent on the River Thames for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee would leave him in hospital with a bladder infection. There followed rare moments when the Duke was not by the Queen's side. His official diary did not go on, and when he announced his retirement from royal duties, Prince Philip did what he does best. He made a joke. This one was about his own advancing years.
I'm sorry to hear you standing down.
And so it was just a few months later that the Duke bid farewell. On a wet August day in the forecourt of Buckingham Palace, he saluted the Royal Marines, of which he was the Captain General.
I'm sure that was
and
hard
at
for him.
96, he completed his final official engagement.
Wow.
Retirement was mostly spent away from the cameras and mostly at Sandringham, which was where he had a car crash, one he escaped from with no injuries, remarkably, even at 97.
What?
Two others were injured then.
He escaped from that car wreck at 97 years old with no injuries. That's incredible.
And
Seriously.
he was the one driving.
Wow.
Wow.
And it forced the Duke to surrender his driving licence, and with it, a bit of the independence he greatly valued. There were no more official engagements, but neither retirement nor a recent hip operation were good enough reasons to miss a big royal wedding. He watched his grandson Prince Harry marry Meghan Markle in 2018. And he also met the couple's son Archie when he was born a year later. It led to this photograph, one which showed just how much the royal family had changed since he joined it in 1947.
Wow, 1947.
But as his granddaughter-in-law Meghan would later tell Oprah Winfrey after she left the family, she thought it hadn't changed enough. During the coronavirus lockdown, Prince Philip was moved to Windsor Castle, where this picture was taken for his 99th birthday, and another for the 73rd anniversary of his marriage to the Queen. They both isolated at Windsor with a small number of staff to limit the risk of infection. And it was during that year he stepped out in public momentarily to hand over his military role with the Rifles Regiment to the Duchess of Cornwall. 99 years old and still making jokes. This one was about fitness.
Oh, keep it up, sir.
As he had done with people for so many years. He then headed back inside to resume his retirement behind closed doors. But of all the stays he had endured in hospital in his later years, 2021 would see the longest of them all. Prince Philip was discharged 4 weeks after first arriving and had a sudden visit one Saturday afternoon from his eldest son. The Duke of Edinburgh was treated for both an infection and heart surgery in that time.
Wow.
If Queen Elizabeth's reign is to be judged a success, it will be in no small part because of the man she married. In his adopted country, Prince Philip became the joint author of the Second Elizabethan era. She is the longest-serving monarch in British history, but at her side throughout was the longest-serving consort.
Wow.
That's beautiful. I didn't realize that they knew each other for so long. And that
Yeah, I didn't
they were
either.
basically courting each other from the time she was 13 to...
You know, this reminds me of something. You know, you see these figures, and we'll take the royal family, for instance, and you see their public persona, just a little bit that you see if you haven't ever really looked into them. And there's so much more to them that than you see on the surface. And this man seemed like a really personable individual.
Yeah.
And he seemed like it seemed like, when I've always thought, up until starting to look into the Queen and whatnot, I always saw like kings and queens as they were just like untouchable, very unpersonable and whatnot.
I think back throughout history, that was probably more the case.
And I think that's probably why I have that perception, right? But I've started getting my mind changed a little bit through things like this and seeing Queen Elizabeth's story and how she served and then seeing his history and all he did and whatnot. And it's just really incredible and eye-opening. It
humanizes them a little more.
It does. Yeah. It humanizes them. That's a good way to put that. But to me, it's like, isn't it interesting how this man he wasn't ever called the king, I guess.
Queen's consort.
Right.
Yeah, you would think. I just always, maybe it's from the movies or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just always thought whoever was on the throne was the king and queen, and that was.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought as well. And since then, I understood by King Charles and then Camilla, I understood that, you know, they weren't exactly equal roles. You know, I understood at that point the consort. It was
the person not born into
right. I understand that, but I don't quite understand why he was always just prince and why he was or duke or well, prince obviously here. But why is Camilla considered a queen and Prince Philip was considered a prince?
Maybe he wasn't, or maybe. Did Camilla not have a title before she married into?
I feel like she had to have, because she was married to Charles. Just like, think about it, when Diane was married to Charles, she was Princess Diana. So I assumed that Camilla was Princess Camilla, or maybe she wasn't. I don't really know what her title was.
We don't know.
Yeah, like the way this all works is still very new to us. We don't fully grasp it. But that's just something that's kind of a little shocking to me. It's like, why was he never called king?
Maybe he was. Maybe we just don't know.
Maybe he was, but I mean, I would think they would call him King Philip if that was the case here. I don't know. And it makes me wonder one day when how to say this? When Charles is gone, Camilla will not just be queen. It'll go to
the next one,
William.
Yeah.
But so now I wonder, will his wife be queen? I'm guessing she will be.
But they don't, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Guys, let us know in the comments how this works. But this was very interesting. But I think that's it for us today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments and suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Bye.